So every year I resit for the national exams, and this year I'm resitting for the O-level, A Math, E Math, H2 Math, as well as H2 further math exam this year, which means I'm taking 4 math exams this year, of which last year I didn't take further math, but for all the other subjects I scored A and A1. So if that's it, I'm kind of like in your shoes where I'm taking the exam like a student. And in this video, I want to share with you the ways that I learn math myself, because I've never learned H2 further math myself my entire life before this year, because I simply did not take it up in Hwa Chong. But I wanted to share with you the tips that I've been personally implementing for myself to help me learn a new math chapter faster, and there are 3 mainly. So I'm going to put screenshots of my notes on the screen over here, because I'm not going to hold it up, but you can see the pictures on the screen later on. Now, the first tip when it comes to learning a new math chapter is that admittedly every single math chapter comes with some sort of formulas. So it is very, very useful for you to come up with a formula sheet for yourself. Just draw simple tables like what I did on the screen over here for a new further math chapter that I recently learned. And when I came up with this formula sheet myself, it actually helped me when I was trying to apply the formulas to the math questions in the practice paper. Because if you didn't know, memorizing the formulas and applying the formulas are two very, very heavy tasks that your mind usually is not able to juggle at the same time. So if you're learning a new math chapter from scratch, take the burden of memorizing the formulas off your mind first. Learn how to apply them first. And the magic thing about math is that when you constantly apply the formulas and just focus on the application, naturally you'll memorize the formulas yourself because you just keep applying so many times, which is exactly what I did. I wrote down all the formulas in that math chapter down, and I just kept applying them to the practice questions. I think I did over 100 plus questions from that chapter alone. And by the end of the 100 questions, I naturally remembered all the formulas from scratch. I didn't even need to purposefully sit down and force myself to memorize them. And that brings me on to the next tip for mastering a new math chapter quick. The next tip is to actually write down notes as you are going along your math questions. So right now when I'm doing a math questions, when I look at the question, immediately I'm able to identify, okay, what are the concepts that are being tested from this chapter over here? And before I even jump right into the question, I will write down the notes, everything that's got to do with that concept beside the question, all on my answer booklet. And I'll quickly take like 1-2 minutes to revise the concepts before applying them to the question. And I did this for all the 100 questions that I did. Even if the questions may have repeated overlapping concepts, I wrote down the same concepts again and again and again and again and again. And while yes, that took a little bit more time to actually finish the whole booklet of 100 questions, but that helped me to really solidify my concepts and help me really remember them, because it's not only just repetition of questions, it's also repetition of basic concepts. And when you write down the basic concepts so many times, it becomes ingrained in your mind, just like it did for me. And the last tip that I have to actually master a new math chapter quickly, this is really, really underrated, but it works so well, is to redo your worksheets multiple times. Now, as mentioned earlier, I've never studied H2 further math my entire life before this year. And every single time I finish a worksheet, I will put the worksheet aside, I'll come back to it 3 days later, and I'll do the whole thing again. And that's simply because when I do it again, it exposes the gaps that I have not closed the first time I did it. And honestly, no one is really able to master all the concepts and correct all their mistakes just by doing things once. You have to do it multiple times. And that is why I do my worksheets again and again and again and again, leaving days in between for the knowledge to sort of settle into my mind, to really ensure that I understand every single question down to the T. These are the 3 methods that I am personally using right now to score A for H2 further math myself as a private candidate, having never studied the subject myself in school before. But I'm super confident that I'll score A, because I literally pour my entire heart and soul into it, studying 5 to 6 hours for this subject every single day, on top of running A1 Math Academy and my university and going to the gym and going to run it, amongst many other things. Try these 3 methods out for yourself, and I guarantee that you will do a lot better for math. And if you want access to all of my resources that I have created for math, H2 math, A math, just WhatsApp the word over here, library, and I'll send you more details about my online library, which I'm going to play a video right now to show you what exactly it is about.
So if you're still struggling with your basic E-math concepts, or you already understand your basic E-math concepts, but you want more practice questions, more examples of the type of questions that usually come out in your exam, what I've done is that over the past 3 years, ever since I started tutoring, I have been creating this huge resource called the Library of A1 Math Academy, where I literally reteach you the entire syllabus from scratch. And not only that, but I expose you to all the different type of questions that can come up for every single chapter and give you the solution to every single question. So for example, if we take a look at this one E-math chapter in Sec 3 called Indices, right? I literally filmed every single chapter from Sec 1 to Sec 4, right? So the whole entire syllabus. And if we go under syllabus over here, you see that I have broken down every chapter into 4 modular portions. So the first one is where you can download all of my handwritten notes, my solution solutions, you can just click on the PDF and download it. The second portion will actually bring you to the part where I reteach you the entire chapter from scratch, starting with all of the basic fundamental concepts. So if you just click on any fundamental concept, let's say the idea of laws of indices, right? Under the laws of indices over here, there's quite a few laws, right? I go into each law very in depth, as you can see on the screen over here. Every single law I list it down for you nicely, and I make sure to go super in depth to show you how it's actually being applied. Not only that, but I also go through all the usual exam questions that you will see, right? So for example, if we click on just here, right, the first question type, I give a video solution to every single question, and you can see I also give the PDF answer to every single question, right? So when you get your hands on this resource, you are really getting the full support, the full fledged of resources to support you throughout your whole EMAF journey and to help you score the A1, even if you don't attend my classes physically in person. So if you like more information about this library and how you can get your hands on it, just WhatsApp the number on the screen over here, and I'll send you more details over there. And I look forward to seeing you on WhatsApp over here.